The BJJ report. Is this the last one from Shell Shock Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here in Fuquay Arena? Fuquay Arena. We weren't going to live in Fuquay Arena, personally, just because we couldn't figure out how to say it. So that's how we kind of ended up in a different place when we got down here in North Carolina. I'm glad we were able, though, to find Shell Shock Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which we were really only able to find because Meg, what's up, Meg, was able to get down here to assist her CrossFit place down here in Fuquay Arena, and she noticed that there was a little BJJ place opening up, Shell Shock Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, down here next to her. She says, "Hey, why don't you go down here and check it out?" And man, we did, and it was just like walking into Fight Club. Had a mat that was hammered, framed in by some 2x4s, and the walls were tarps, and it was cold. It was cold, and you know, I still won't forget some of my first rolls down here at Shell Shock, because you know, it's just step into a whole new realm, another dimension. If you're a Beastie Boys fan, another dimension. Anyway, I can't sing that, but yeah. So what's what's on the BJJ report for today? I think that it's is it you know, it's a continuation of the journey. You know, what's next? I've already got a BJJ place picked up, McHugh BJJ, up in New Jersey, where I've already had a class in there and I already feel comfortable. And that's been so far my experience with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is that it's kind of like this open community that is more reflective of how you kind of think that it should be, right? Everywhere you go, you start off fresh and new. It doesn't matter if you've been to school for, you know, judo. Maybe it does, right? So maybe you've gone to school for judo. Maybe you've gone to school for some other type of martial art before you come into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And maybe you're skilled in wrestling. Maybe you're skilled in grappling. Maybe you have some other skills that you bring to it. But everybody starts Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at the same level, white belt. Right? And any school that you go to is going to be different. They're going to teach you different ways to do it. Just like when you know, you've had a job. Let's say you know, you've been a business analyst at Procter & Gamble for 10 years, and you're like, you know what? It's time for a change. I'm pretty good at what I do. I know my way around the Excels, and you go and you find yourself at a new job. It's a new job. It's a new job. Some of your skills translate, for sure. Some of your skills translate, like, you know, what can you do with spreadsheets and your ability to analyze the specific businesses that you've been in or around. But when you go to a new business, they have a new model. Like, every model is not the same. And so you're going to take some time learning and continuing your journey, even if it's a brand new place, even if you have been training for years and years and years. There's going to be something that you can take that's brand new, that's going to take you down a whole new avenue when you go to that new job, regardless of years of experience. When you go to that new jiu-jitsu school, regardless of your years of experience. In my case, it's only been 1 year. And in the one moment that I went to the new school, or the other school, and took a different class that the rest of my teammates had not taken, I was able to come back and utilize that new skill easily, handily, because it wasn't something. And I've been through the curriculum with our school twice now. You know, the rotation, we go through 22-week rotations, maybe close to 3 times, and they had not trained this other it was like a butterfly guard, right? They hadn't trained that in the classes that I'd taken, and so I was able to go take that butterfly guard in McHugh BJJ and come back, and I was able to utilize this new technique against some of my other teammates, and they hadn't seen it. And they hadn't used it. You know, most of us that are in that group are white belts, and so it was really cool to be able to use that and also have access to that. And that's, again, excuse me, one of the things I love about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, though, is when you go to a new place, a new space, they respect you as a person, and they have no idea what you're going to bring to the table. What was funny is that when I went there, he goes, all right, well, listen, nothing below like the waist in terms of leg locks, in terms of ankle locks, and that type of thing. And I looked at him and chuckled, but he said that to me knowing that there's the potential that I could have that skill, knowing that I was possibly able to do some leg locks, and maybe his white belts weren't versed in how to escape the maneuver and how to protect themselves. And if you don't know how to protect yourself, and if you haven't gone up against those maneuvers, and as a white belt, I would not be ultra proficient at it, most likely, and there's the great potential for me to injure somebody else. He respected all that, and the simple statement of hey, listen, don't do this. He didn't need to tell me why. I understood it all. At the same time, I chuckled because I that's not my strong suit. But he didn't know that. He doesn't know me. He does know the potential for that to happen. So he didn't even bother to ask. And I think that's kind of how it should be in most places that you go to. You know, are you comfortable in? I mean, I'll use myself again as an example. When I started the job that I've got now, I had no idea what I was jumping into. I had a couple ideas, and based on our conversations, I said, you know, yeah, it's something I can do. And then I'll never forget the time Rob did the interview. He goes, all right, well, there's going to be a bunch of white space, and for the longest time, I said, what the hell? And it was funny because like I hadn't had like listened to that type of a speech before, or somebody saying, hey, you know, here's a bunch of white space, and go see what you can do with it. You know, whatever transpired between us, he respected and thought to the fact that he believed in me and thought that I could do the job. He didn't know my entire history, but between our conversations and what had transpired, he thought and respected enough of me to say, you know what, I think you can do this job. And you know, to this day, I've been able to do the job and change it and transition it and do my best at it. Bring everything that I do know to the job, and I've done it in a way that nobody else is going to do it. And that's not to say that I'm the best at what I do. I'm the best at who I am. I bring the best of myself to it, and I continue to do that. And jiu-jitsu's like that. They respect you for that. They open you. They're excited. You know, I think that, you know, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, he John Shell and Sam Steff and Tony Henshaw, when I first showed up, they weren't just excited to have new customers. They weren't excited just to have new patrons because they were just starting out. They were excited to bring out the best in me. They're excited to bring out the best in each individual that comes through those doors, and that is palatable. And when you can do that, when that is your job, when your job is to bring out the best in another individual and the best in those around you, that's a great job. That's a great job, and that's a great place to be in. And when you can do that in your work, when you can bring out the best in yourself and the best in those around you, then I think you're doing your job to the best of your ability. And that's what they do at Shell Shock Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's what I've seen at McHugh BJJ, and you know, I think that is the gist of martial arts. That is the gist of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you know, John's often been heard to say that BJJ is life, and yeah, you know, I think that is life. You know, trying to bring out not only the best in yourself, and when you bring out the best in yourself, you're bringing out the best in those around you. All right, guys, take it easy. This has been the BJJ Report. We'll talk to you later.